Good night. Later, we will speak on the fiscal revisor in Colombia, doing a brief inventory of his history and the pronouncement of some entities on this one. The appearance, the appearance of the fiscal revisor in Colombia was influenced by the Roman law, was in him where it began his birth across the increasing net that the citizens were showing to exercise a political control socially. In the Roman Empire, there existed imperial civil servants, auditors, inspectors, and inspectors who realized representative audits and had aptitude to certify the checked across a favorable or adverse opinion. The fiscal revisor began to have a legislative structure from the law 59 of 1931, which principal aim was to create the superintendence of joint stock companies, but that in turn gave juridical birth to the fiscal revisor. Later, in 1950, the 1950, the Decree 2521 introduced the innovation of which the signature of the fiscal revisor must be preceded by an opinion in relation by the preparation of the financial statement and his loyalty by the account books. Immediately, immediately afterwards, in 1955, the Decree 2373 assigned the fiscal revisor to the accounting profession, indicating that only the public bookkeepers might recover this paper inside the companies. In addition, it specified aspect that they had to contain the report such of the fiscal revisor as the adjustment of the accounting of the company to the producer and countable technologies and the suitable revelation of the financial situation in the financial statements. Later, with the appearance of the law 145, 145 of 1916, the Decree 2373 of 1955 was repealed. Why this law they eliminated the categories of public bookkeepers and inscribed bookkeeper, and from her all the bookkeepers happening to the public. Then the Code of Trade Decree 410 of 1971 in his articles 203 to 21217 needs the companies that are forced have a revisor travel fiscally, regulates his choice, accentuates incompatibilities already mentioned by previous procedure, emphasizes his functions and the content of the opinion and report that this one issues. Later, in 1919, why the law 43 there was created the technical advice of the public accountancy, and there was granting him the faculty to send professional disposition, which of today they must be respected for one they exercise the public accountancy in Colombia. This law also created to code of ethics and to the procedure of audit generally accepted up to professional qualities, whilst the public bookkeeper must bear in mind on having realized his fiscal revisor examination and on having he should his report of equal why it established the papers of work as the why in order that the public bookkeepers makes witness and evidence of the labors realized in order to issue his professional judgment on July 30, 2009. The law was sanctioned by the President of the Republic, Álvaro Uribe Vélez, 3040 of 2009. Law calculate of convergence wise was took as measure to adapt the existing procedure towards international standard of accounting and of insurance of the information, and why it took the growth of the managerial sector to increase the competitiveness and to do of the transparency or one of the fundamental qualities of the financial information. Equally why this initiative one seeks to articulate and to homogenize the regulation to solve conflicts why the tributary accounting to shape the only system of procedure of information on accounting and financial information of attracting to foreign investment on having facilitated the interpretation and comparison of the information why companies of the exterior. The evolution that the Revisoria Fiscal has had thus that now it's understood as an external audit, but preserving some differences as for responsibilities, obligatory, obligatory, nature, removal, dependence, temporally and sanctions, wide gap in from 30 normativity native. On the fiscal revisor today, it is possible to affirm that it is an organ that fulfills a very important paper in the company. If this one develops in an objective, effective, and independent way, turns into the best ally of the state, of the owners of the companies and of the user on the financial information, since it facilitates the labor of the organs of inspection and vigilance, generates public confidence, safeguards the social assets, and protects the heritage of the companies. Since in Colombia it was started speaking about NIIF, it has come turning in the mind of the bookkeeper the possible disappearance of the fiscal revisor in the implementation of this process. There have been there have been too many interpretations of these procedures, but on December 25, 2030, the Financial Superintendence of Colombia sent the external circulars letter 031 35 39, for the legal representatives and fiscal revisor of the entity supervises of the Group 1 in order to instruct in the process of implementation of the International Procedure of Financial Information NIIF in the numeral night of the mentioned external circular later named responsibility of the fiscal revisor is established. The fiscal revisor, in his labor of audit, while have to do a labor of permanent follow-up, evaluating the fulfillment of the legal requirements along the period of preparation and of transition, as well as from the date of application of the new technical normative frame contained in the annex of Decree 2794 of 2012 and other procedure of instruction that turn out to be applicable for the fulfillment of the previous thing. It while helps to as minimum evaluate two policies, the technical criteria, estimation, and procedure used by the preparers of the financial information will make one or part of the group that give application to the technical frame in reference respect of the entity and of the resource of third parties that this one administers, such as the public funds, resources of the general system of social safety, fiduciary business and universalities between others. Uh, it is possible to warn that the superintendent's like entity supervisor indicates diverse obligation for the fiscal revisor or supervises entities. Principal obligation. Principal obligation to do a labor of permanent follow-up. Secondary obligation to evaluate the fulfillment of the legal requirements along the periods of preparation, transition, and application of the new technical normative from on other procedure or instruction that turn out to be applicable. Minimal obligation to evaluate the policies, the technical estimation, and procedures used by the preparers of the financial information. Additionally, he remembers of the fulfillment of the phrasing in the clause 2 of the numeral 6 of the same external circular later. Uh, by virtue of the established in the numeral 3 of the article 207 of the Code of Trade, there acts from itself that the fiscal revisor evaluates that the process of convergence expires while the requirements foreseen in the Decree 2690 or 26 2684 of the 2012 and its annex and the procedure that derogating, replace or modify uh, as well as with other instructions that on this matter the superintendent sense of conformity while the previous thing the fiscal revisor of the preparers of financial information being vigilant over the superintendents who make one a part of the group while have to present a report in which they indicate expressly yes the countable policy they adjust to the technical normative attached frame to the decree before mentioned. If the technical criteria of measurement used and the accounting application estimation are reasonable for the preparation and presentation of the state of financial situation of opening. In this sense, both new paragraph of the external circular letter relate because the check of the fulfillment of the minimal obligation it is expressed by means of the obligation to present a report the following quant. Report of Revisoria Fiscal accounting policies they adjust to the technical normative, they are reasonable to the preparation and presentation of the state of financial situation on operating. Though the external circular letter of the financial superintendents of Colombia applies exclusively for the fiscal revisors of his entity supervised of the Group 1, very surely by virtue of the same numeral 3 of the Article 207 of the Code of Trades, also apply for the revisors of the entities of the Group 2 and 3, as well as also it might become extensive to the entities supervised by other superintendents. The previous thing implies that it is true that the fiscal revisor is not the person in charge of the process of implementation. There must elevate the reasonableness of the financial statement of opening that the entities of the Group 1 must prepare on January 1, 50, January 1, 20, 40. Independent if the disc one will be an object of opinion on the part of the fiscal revisor. There must be borne in mind that the financial information that is prepared during the year 2040 year of transition. Under procedure, NIIF is not an object of opinion on the part of the fiscal revisor, but yes, they turn into base for the preparation of the state of financial situation on January 1, 2050. Date into which begins the period of obligatory nature, while yes will be an object of opinion on the part of the fiscal revisor. It's logical to think that a figure that reduces so much control inside the company disappears. We are in a country where the corruption is the breed of every day, and if existing to above the mentioned figure fraud are a comedy, what is left if it disappears? We are fiscal revisor. It is necessary to be our professional commitment to be qualified to confront to take part in the challenge that has Colombia in the implementation of international procedure of financial information. Thanks you.